Lithium hydride is the strongest reducing agent. Okay. Sodium borohydride, and then you kena ada H2O /H plus ataupun H3O plus as a metal. So you need some acid. Okay, you need some acid untuk daripada O negatif tu jadi alkohol. You nak letak H2O plus boleh, you nak letak H2O/H plus boleh, nak letak H2O, H plus pun boleh. Yang penting kena ada, dia nak menunjukkan this one is represent, dia punya represent of sub acid lah dekat sini. Okay. So again, sodium borohydride is only capable to reduce ketone and aldehyde only. Ingat sodium borohydride only capable to reduce aldehyde and ketone only. Okay, sodium borohydride is a weak or mild reducing agent. But lithium aluminum hydride capable to reduce everything: carboxylic acid, ester, amide, acid chloride, and of course, if it capable to reduce like acid carboxylic derivative, it also capable to reduce ketone and aldehyde. Lithium aldehyde is the strongest lah, paling kuat sekali. And then we have this one, hydrazine, which is from ketone dia jadi alkane. Okay, this one you can buka balik on chapter 7, which is aldehyde ketone kan. Kita dah belajar lah sebelum ni. Alright, bromide and chromite acid are the oxidizing agent. Tadi reducing agent. Now we learn about oxidizing agent, which is this one. From alkene, you oxidize with some bromine here, boleh jadi akan halide. Okay, so your bromine here akan insert lah dalam carbon double bond ni, jadi like this. And then you have aldehyde. Of course, chromite is the strong oxidizing agent. From aldehyde dia akan jadi terus carboxylic acid, of course. And alcohol kan jadi tengoklah you pakai alcohol apa. If you use primary alcohol, with chromite dia akan jadi carboxylic acid. If you use secondary alcohol, with chromite dia akan jadi ketone. Alright. But if you want to produce an aldehyde from primary alcohol, you can use PCC. Yesterday, PCC. PCC also is oxidizing agent, but it's a mild oxidizing agent, which is it will stop at the aldehyde. Dia takkan from primary alcohol, dia takkan terus pergi pada carboxylic acid. Dia akan stop dekat aldehyde sajalah. Dia tak boleh nak straight go to carboxylic acid. Okay, ingat apa yang ajar sebelum ni? Okay, hydrogenation. Hydrogenation as a reducing agent lah, this one component of 2 hydrogen atom or 2 electron and 2 proton and 100 ion and proton. So this is hydrogenation as reducing agent. Okay, so this is the catalyst that you can use. Tak perlu list down all, you can just pick any catalyst you want. Yeah, it's either platinum, palladium or nickel. Of course nickel, one of the catalysts. So from alkene, dia akan jadi alkane. Dia senang je, which is double bond ni you letak hydrogen. So alkene dia jadi alkane. Okay. It doesn't matter is terminal alkene or in the middle of the alkene, you can form a alkane. So this is a triple bond. Okay. You see here is triple bond. So you need two equivalent of hydrogenation. Maksudnya that's mean, okay, kalau you nampak dalam agent tu ada 2 kat depan, ada 2, number 2, that's mean it come twice. Dia datang 2 kali. Okay, so 2 equivalent of hydrogenations, and then required of course is either platinum, palladium or nickel akan menghasilkan alkane. So we have another catalyst we call Linda's catalyst. Okay, this name Linda catalyst sebab the person who invent this one, dia bernama Linda. That's why they name Linda catalyst. Okay. So of course triple bond hydrogen dia akan form alkene lah, dia stop dekat alkene by information of cis to butene. So Linda catalyst ni is like selective, we call selective agent. Maknanya if you use Linda catalyst, dia boleh control to form cis to butene. Okay. Yeah, but if you only use catalyst yang biasa like platinum, palladium or nickel, you tak boleh nak control dia akan form what type of alkene, is either cis or trans. It can form mixture sometimes. But if you use Linda catalyst, this is selective reducing agent, which is it will control you punya product menghasilkan cis. Okay. But sometimes why we need this selective agent, because let's say lah a researcher required to synthesize a compound. The compound dia nak menghasilkan cis, dia tak nak menghasilkan trans. Why? Because the compound in cis position, it have the certain bioactivity. Okay, but sometimes if the product from trans, it doesn't give any bioactivity. Okay, sometimes it depends on what type of compound is it. Yeah, so the trans and cis also play as important role in formation or synthesis of drug. Okay, student. Alright, so this is hydrogenation against palladium with some carbon catalyst from alkene jadi alkane. And you have here if amine, so hydrogenations and triple amine against you require 2 equivalent of hydrogenations with some palladium and carbons to form the butyramine here. Okay, nampak tak ada highlight kuning ni? Okay, dia just insert je hydrogen tu. Another example is acid chloride hydrogenations. Also can with palladium plus carbon akan menghasilkan aldehyde and primary alcohol. Again, it will form intermediate of aldehyde, tapi you won't see, if you do experiment, you will never see the aldehyde function. Straightforward akan dapat primary alcohol, but actually in theory your aldehyde will form first, then your primary alcohol will form. And then we have another one is hydrogenation with partially deactive palladium. So this is what we call partially deactive palladium. Bila dia partially deactive palladium, that means it's not really active. So it can reduce from acid chloride to aldehyde, it will control. So this is also we call as, kejap student. Okay. So let's say here you use hydrogen with palladium carbon, the straightforward from acid chloride reduced to primary alcohol. But let's say you want an aldehyde, you tak nak terus jadi primary alcohol. So you can use this one, hydrogen with partially deactive palladium, dia akan stop dekat aldehyde, dia tak akan straightforward pergi kepada primary alcohol. So this also we call as selective, selective reducing agent. Setakat ni okey tak pelajar? Ada soalan tak? Attendance sampai pukul 9 dah klik ke belum?
Ya.
Dah have hydrogen with some running nickel, carboxylic acid tak boleh, there's no reactions, ester no reactions, and NMI also no reaction. It's not capable lah untuk reducekan daripada carboxylic acid and ester and amide. Okay, now dissolving metal reduction. So you have this one from triple bond nak menghasilkan double bond. So this one tadi kita pakai Linda's reaction. If you use, go back. Okay, if you use Linda's catalyst, you can control you punya from triple bond to double bond menghasilkan cis. Okay, Linda's catalyst. But if you use this one, sodium or lithium in nitrogen liquid, you will get not nitrogen liquids, ammonia liquids, you will get trans butane. This one also kita panggil selective agent. Okay, which is you can control this formation of product to trans instead of dia jadi mixture cis and trans, but you, this time you nak producekan major product you in trans position, so you can use sodium or lithium in ammonium liquid. Okay, so this is also another example. Okay, triple bond, and then you want the formation of trans, so this is the trans. Okay, tadi kita dah belajar reduction by hydrogenation. Pelbagai-bagai hydrogenation kita belajar dengan pelbagai catalyst with different type of catalyst kan. Okay, so this is a very common catalyst lah. Apa ni, palladium, nickel. It's like very common catalyst. But Linda's catalyst and sodium, lithium in ammonia liquid is we call selective reducing agent, which is it can reduce from triple bond to double bond in cis or trans. So kita dah belajar juga hydrogenation with palladium in carbon, and then kita dah belajar, we learn a bit about with partially reactive palladium also can reduce from acid chloride to aldehyde. It can control. This is also we call selective reducing agent. It can control, you want to stop to for formation of aldehyde instead of straightforward become primary alcohol. Pelajar nama Kirtana ada tak? Kirtana, I have kan student nama Kirtana. Because I perasan pelajar ni tak masuk banyak kali kelas. I'm worried she I'm not sure she can sit for final or not. Nabi. Sekejap student. Kirtana, yes, I have a student named Kirtana. Ada tak dalam ni Kirtana? Tak ada ya? Okay, I wait until 9 o'clock. Because if she's your friend, please advise her to come to class. Dan mak kali kita tak datang, I'm not sure she can sit for final or not. Okay, proceed. Okay, kita dah belajar hydrogenation. You can control it with sodium or lithium in ammonia liquid can form trans alkene, okay, trans double bonds. Okay, now we'll just go to sodium borohydride. Again, sodium borohydride is one of reducing agent, but it's a mild reducing agent, okay. Kalau reduce, you kena ingat bila you letak sodium borohydride, kena letak some acid. Tidak, tak ada formation of alcohol. So kena these two like kembar lah, package, one package. If you just, let's say in the question say, dia bagi starting material, dia bagi product. Then they ask you to list down the reagent. You kena bagi lengkap. You must put lengkap. Both. You tak letak sodium borohydride saja. Kalau if just put sodium borohydride, it's only formed at here. O negative saja. Stop kat sini saja. Because there's no some acid in your reaction. This acid is required for formation of alcohol. This one, diperlukan acid ni. Okay. You can write down like this or you can write down H3O plus. Boleh, tak masalah. Allah. Okay. Plus, don't forget put plus because your oxygen ada hydrogen. Kena lengkap, kena betul. Okay. So now, so an aldehyde, of course, you reduce jadi primary alcohol. If ketone, you reduce akan jadi secondary alcohol. So aldehyde reduce akan jadi alcohol, ketone akan jadi secondary alcohol. Okay. Lithium aluminum hydride is the strongest reducing agent than sodium borohydride. Lithium aluminum is used to reduce compound that are non-reactive towards sodium borohydride. That means lithium aluminum hydride dia boleh reducekan any compound that sodium borohydride is not capable. Okay, lithium aluminum hydride can reduce any compound that sodium borohydride is not capable to reduce. Okay, like carboxylic acid, ester, acid chloride, amide. So lithium aluminum hydride is a very strong reducing agent. Okay, carboxylic acid reduce lithium aluminum hydride to primary alcohol. Of course, carboxylic acid. Actually, carboxylic acid reduce jadi aldehyde dulu, aldehyde jadi primary alcohol. And then ester, you can reduce akan jadi primary alcohol and another alcohol. So it will reduce to two different type of alcohol. Okay. Dia kalau just benda dia just ni. Like this. So this one akan jadi alcohol yang ni. Okay. And this one sebelah sini dia akan jadi alkohol yang ini. Okay. So ester bila you reduce kan dia akan jadi you will synthesize two different alcohol because why? Because when you want to synthesize ester you require two different alcohol or same alcohol also can to form an ester. So bila you oxidize jadi you perlukan dua alkohol. So bila you nak reduce kan ester dia akan form two alcohol. Okay. Alright, and then we have this one, diol. Yes, okay. Actually diol is also one of the reducing agent. Tapi diol ni actually is very selective. We call it as selective. I use it during my PhD. It's a selective reducing agent. Actually diol is originally come from lithium aluminum hydride. It's just that you replacekan hydrogen tu dengan some OR group. So bila replace dengan OR group, it decrease the reactivity of metal hydride. So what happened here, diol is also a mild reducing agent. Diol dengan sodium borohydride, kedua-duanya adalah mild reducing agent. It's just that kalau sodium borohydride it only capable to reduce aldehyde ketone. But diol, dia akan control the reducing. Let's say ester, you can stop reduce to an aldehyde here. Okay, kalau ester tadi, if you use lithium aluminum hydride, dia akan straightforward reduce to alcohol. Okay, but let's say you nak jadikan dia aldehyde, you don't want straightforward become alcohol. Yes, you can by using diol. Diol will stop the reaction at aldehyde. So ester will form aldehyde. Kat sini saja. Or acid chloride dia akan form aldehyde. Dia tak akan reduce kepada alcohol because you use it diol. Okay student? Okay, kita patah balik tadi. Ingat balik kita dah belajar 3 reducing agent untuk oxidation. Okay. Yeah. Sodium borohydride only aldehyde and ketone. Okay. Double, it can reduce ester and acetyl into aldehyde. Okay. But lithium aluminum hydride, it can reduce everything. Dia boleh reduce semuanya kepada alcohol. Okay, they're very strong reducing agent sangat. So all of this reagent is very strong, dia very sensitive dekat air. Okay, sangat berbahaya, especially lithium hydride in small quantity milligram can, as I say last time, very small quantity milligram of lithium hydride can burn down one fume hood. You tahu berapa besar fume hood tu, sangat berbahaya lithium hydride ni ya. Last time when I using lithium hydride, I dah siap-siap letak pemadam api tu dekat sebelah I je. In case kalau apa-apa berlaku, I spray je. Very, 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 very sensitive. Okay. Now, formation of amide by reduction also, of course, you use lithium aluminum hydride. Ni sajalah yang boleh capable to reduce from amide to become amide. Can you use sodium borohydride, student? Can we use sodium borohydride to reduce your amide?
No.
How about double?
No.
No, so yes. Okay, double also not capable to reduce your amide to amide. Yeah, only lithium aluminum hydride capable to reduce amide to amide. Okay, student, ingat This one please Becky you perlukan H3O plus atau H2O H plus. Please Becky pun note ni. Tambahkan je lah buat slash ataupun koma H plus kat sini, tambahkan je. Alright. Okay, now. Kata kalau tulis H2O boleh? Yes, boleh. Boleh juga H3O plus. Okay, sodium borohydride can be used to selectively reduce an NaDHO ketone in a compound. Saya say sodium borohydride only can reduce aldehyde and ketone. So let's say here, let's say in your compound ada this one ketone, dia ada ester. So you nak reducekan ketone saja, you tak nak reduce ke ester ni. So you use sodium borohydride with some acid dekat sini. Again betulkan this one H2O slash H plus ataupun betulkan jadi H3O plus. Sila betulkan nota anda. Dah beritahu ni. Okay. Alright. Again this one you have alkene, you have ketone. You nak reducekan ketone saja, you use sodium borohydride. So sodium borohydride akan reducekan ketone menjadi secondary alcohol. You punya alkene remain lah sebagai alkene. Okay. And this one ester remain as ester. They say I use lithium aluminum hydride sekejap student. Okay. Sorry because I don't have mate anymore. Saya kena mengajar kat bawah with 2 kids down here. Okay. Alright. Ester, of course, it can remain with ester lah. If you use lithium aluminum hydride dia akan reducekan all of it. Dia akan reducekan ketone, dia akan reducekan ester. Yeah. So this is sodium borohydride ni dia boleh kira macam selektif lah. Dia boleh only reduce aldehyde and ketone. Okay, deoxygenation, reduction of COO to CH2. Okay, kita ada lagi satu reaction di mana kita boleh reducekan COO kepada CH2. Kita ada dua method which is Clemenson's reductions or Wolff-Kishner reduction. Okay, Clemenson reduction kita guna hot acid. Wolff-Kishner kita guna strong base. Okay. Okay, let's say here Clemenson reduction. Your COO ni dia akan reduce menjadi CH2. Look at here. Okay. So CH2, CH3 here. Krimelang dekat sini. Okay. With some, you're gonna use zinc and SeLH2O. And then also another example here, COO. Akan reduce jadi CH2 kat sini. Kenapa dia CH3? Sebab ada hydrogen kat sini. Sebenarnya dia jadi CH2. CH2 tambah plus hydrogen, dia CH3. Okay. Alright. We have another one, involved frictional reduction. Kita panggil dia perlukan strong base. It requires strong base. Form hydrogen then hit with strong base, like ni potassium hydroxide or potassium terbutaoxide. Okay, which is you punya COO akan reduce menjadi hydrogen dahulu, and then you need require some very strong base, dia akan jadi CH2 kat sini. Dia akan jadi CH2 dulu, tapi sebab ada hydrogen sini dia tak jadi CH3. CH2 plus hydrogen jadi CH3 lah. Okay. Okay, kita dah belajar reduction. Kita dah belajar reduction. Okay, let's take 5-minute break before I masuk oxidation. Dapat ada yang kejut ke? Okay. Kita sambung balik 9.10. Boleh student? Okay, masa break ni you all buka lah balik reduction. Take a look at the reduction semua apa kita belajar tadi. Okay, can we start? Boleh kita start. Yeah. Alright. Jadi kita dah learn about reduction. Let's go to oxidation of alcohol atau oxidation reaction lah. Okay. Of course, if you have reduction, you also can oxidize. If you can oxidize, you can reduce back. Some tujuan oxidation, reduction ni dia terbalik je. Okay, now, of course, this chromite in sodium chloride semua ni is oxidation agents, a very strong oxidation agent, or pemanganganat, K-4, also strong oxidation agent. And of course, secondary alcohol, if you oxidize akan jadi, this is secondary alcohol, you oxidize jadi ketone. Okay. And secondary alcohol, you akan reduce jadi, dia akan oxidize jadi ketone. Okay. So all the secondary alcohol, if you oxidize akan jadi ketone. So this is the reagent that you need to memorize. You boleh pilih mana-mana lah you nak memorize. You nak memorize chromite with in acid sulfuric ke, you nak memorize sodium chromite with acid sulfuric, or only H2SiCr or 4. So this is one of the oxidized agent. Okay. So primary alcohol, primary alcohol, when you oxidize it with chromite, dia akan straightforward become carboxylic acid. They actually it become aldehyde, but you can't see. It will straightforward become carboxylic acid. Yeah. But to control it, kita pakai apa tadi? Kalau kita nak control from primary alcohol to aldehyde, what reagent that we required, students? Ada sebanyak kali. Yes, PCC. Okay, you just write down PCC, simple je, PCC. Okay, PCC, apa nama dia? You look out lah, dia panjang nama dia sebenarnya tadi tu. Okay. So PCC is one of the mild oxidation agent, which is it can stop to form up to aldehyde. Dia takkan jadi carboxylic acid. Okay. This one lah PCC. Okay, PCC nama dia Prydenium Chlorochromite. Tak payahlah tulis panjang-panjang macam ni. You just write down PCC pun dah boleh. Okay. So primary alcohol akan jadi, dia akan stop to become to synthesize up to aldehyde. Okay. Sebut baik kali dah tu. Kenapa tu? Kena. Ni lah faham masa ni why I dah mention banyak kali dah. Okay, oxidation of aldehyde and ketone. Of course, from aldehyde also you can oxidize become carboxylic acid with sodium chromite lah. Kena pakai, tak boleh pakai PCC. Okay. So aldehyde aldehyde you oxidize become carboxylic acid with some chromite here. Okay, the tolerant reagent. Tolerant reagent also only oxidize aldehyde sahaja. Okay, dia tak boleh oxidize ketone, dia tak boleh oxidize alcohol, dia boleh oxidize only you punya aldehyde. Dia akan menghasilkan carboxylic acid and some angentum metallic silver. If you all cuma berpeluang to do experiment, you akan tahu buat tolerant reagent punya experiment. You will see in your test tube tu, you can see ada metallic silver. Memang nampak lah formation of silver. If you can see the formation of silver, that means your starting material is aldehyde. Okay. So usually kalau lah eksperimen kita bagi macam ni lah. Kita bagi A, kita bagi B. Kita nak student identify which one A, B is aldehyde. Kita tak tahu aldehyde yang mana satu. So you can run tolerant reagent on both starting material and then you find out test tube dalam A ni yang menghasilkan silver metallic. Ada formation of argentum lah kat situ. So dari situ you boleh tahu yang A actually is a aldehyde and B could be ketone ke alcohol ke I don't know, but it's yang penting is not aldehyde lah. If aldehyde it also form argentum metallic, but now B dia tak formation of argentum metallic, that's mean B is not aldehyde. Okay, so tolerant reagent is one of the pernah kelas soalan kita bagi pelajar some case. This one case we say that this certain case how to identify which one is aldehyde. So student, you write down tolerant reaction and kita minta student to explain the observation. How you know that one is aldehyde. So student have to write down that formation of argentum silver atau argentum metallic silver. Okay, so that's the answer, the correct answer that student should give. Okay, now both aldehyde ketone can be oxidized by this called pyroxy acid, the Baeyer-Villiger oxidation. Okay, this is pyroxy acid. Pyroxy acid dia boleh oxidize aldehyde and ketone menjadi, okay, this one aldehyde akan menjadi carboxylic acid, yang ketone ni akan menghasilkan ester. Okay, aldehyde jadi carboxylic acid, your ketone akan jadi ester. Okay, they say here we have a ketone. Ketone with some pyroxy acid. This is pyroxy acid. You akan menghasilkan ester. Okay, it's either di sini je. It's either you boleh letak oksigen kat sini. Okay, like this. Atau boleh letak oksigen dekat sini. Like this. Okay, so it become ester, dia tak ada control. Dia become, sometimes it can form either this one or this one. Or sometimes it can form mixture. Mana kedua-duanya muncul di dalam, it will appear in your products but in formation of mixture. Okay. Alright, this is relative migration of tendency lah. This one dalam Baeyer-Villiger oxidation. Okay. This one, okay, you tengok je lah dia punya reactivity in a Baeyer-Villiger oxidation. Kita belajar tapi tak tekankan sangat because this is more on organic 2 atau organic 3 akan appear. Okay, oxidation of alkene with pyroxy acid. Again, if you use tadi aldehyde ketone, kalau kita react dengan pyroxy acid, aldehyde akan menghasilkan carboxylic acid. While ketone akan menghasilkan ester. But if you react your pyroxy acid with some alkene, ni alkene dia akan menghasilkan epoxide. This is epoxide. Okay, so that's mean oxygen tu dia akan kat tengah ni lah. So it become like this. So this is epoxide. Okay, this is the mechanism. Just take note. How to say, kita tak tekankan sangat. This is what we call, I don't know, my supervisor said it's called butterfly mechanism, but I can't see the butterfly much actually. So when my supervisor, my lecturer say it's a butterfly mechanism, I said, oh okay. So they say this butterfly, which is of course alkene will act as a nucleophile kat sini. Macam-macam, and then the form oxygen, they act like this one act here, and the break, yeah, and form this part akan jadi this one dia akan jadi epoxide. Okay, so just read through je lah the mechanism of epoxide. Right, the addition of oxygen to an alkene is a serose-specific reaction. So let's say you have cis-butane, yeah, you react with pyroxy acid, dia akan jadi epoxide cis lah. Kalau you have trans butane, you react with pyroxy acid, akan menjadi trans epoxide. So cis, trans lah. That's why it's try to mention here, yeah. Okay, we have hydrogenation of alkene, of course, permanganate KNO4. KNO4 also is one of the oxidation agent, dia salah satu oxidation agent. So now in this case, you have a double bond. Double bond, you react dengan KNO4 in cool. In cool akan menghasilkan diol. Ataupun alkene you react dengan OSO4 menghasilkan diol. This one. Okay, mechanism for cis glycol formation. So this is the mechanism. You punya double bond dengan KMNO4, how it forms. Yeah, and then some H2O here, dia akan menghasilkan diol. Okay. And OSO4 also alkene, dia akan menghasilkan diol. So you see here, higher of diol are obtained with osmium peroxide. So between these two reagents, this one kalau you react dengan this reagent, this one akan form more product, more yeast. Tapi sebenarnya OSO4 is quite toxic, yeah. I won't encourage you guys to use this one. This is kalau last choice lah. Let's say you want to form a diol, you have no more reagent that you can use. Yeah, you can use OSO4, but it will be your last choice because this is very toxic. Dia boleh, toxic tu maksudnya boleh menghasilkan cancer. Kalau terkena kat kulit you, it has potent. It has potent to form a skin cancer. Very dangerous, OSO4. So it's not a very favorite reagent. Okay, now this one, oxidative cleavage of 1,2-diol. Okay, so tadi daripada alkene kita dah menghasilkan diol, diol menggunakan kedua-dua ni reagent, CaMnO4 in cool or SO4 with water. So and then from diol here, you boleh pecahkan kat tengah ni, with HiO4 untuk menghasilkan 2 carbonyl. Okay. You break tengah-tengah ni, yang sebelah sini akan menghasilkan belah sini, ketone. Okay. Yang belah sini akan menghasilkan sebelah sini, aldehyde. Okay. Dia senang je, you kalau dapat macam ni HiO4, you bayangkan, you lukis je balik. Kalau jadi you all lah, tak nak confuse semua kan, pelajar kadang-kadang dia cepat confuse. You lukis je balik CH3 kat sini. Lepas tu tambah je O kat sini. Tada. Okay. Yang ni like this here. Tambah je O. So ni aldehyde. Here. This one ketone yang belah sini. Okay. You tak nak lukis straight pun tak apa. You just lukis. Kalau if the question bagi cyclic like this, you just break ke tengah-tengah ni je. And then just daripada O ni jadi C double O. Okay. Daripada OH jadi C double bond O. Senang je balik. Jangan confuse. Okay, this one ozonolysis. Pernah dengar tak ozonolysis? Nanti this is one of the pernah belajar kan masa matrik kan, ozonolysis reaction. Ozonolysis reaction is very easy. Pernah belajar tak? Ingat je. Ya, benar Okay. Ozonolysis reaction is very easy reaction. Actually, I've done it before during my PhD. It's very easy. It's just that the smell is not very nice. Dia ada bau macam, you pernah pergi kedai photostat tak? Kalau pergi kedai photostat dulu bau macam carbon kan? Dia bau macam tu lah. Dia smell like that, it's not very nice. So when I do this reaction, I have to do completely in fume hood, tutup tangan I je yang masuk. Sebab kita tak nak bau tu keluar. Dia tak nice and it's not good for woman actually, ozonolysis reaction ni. Kenapa tak good for woman? It can harm our ni lah rahim. Okay. Lelaki tak apa. Tapi still lah the smell is not very pleasant. Tak bagus sangat. Okay, so ozonolysis reaction. So kita ada 2 jenis workup. Nanti kita pergi. Yeah. So ozonolysis ni basically is C double C. You break tengah ni. From alkene dia akan form 2 different type of carbonyl. So you break tengah ni, dia letak O. O. So this is the mechanism. I just read through je mechanism, tekan-tekan. Okay. Alright. Ozonate can be cleaved to carbonyl compound. Okay. It have 2 different type of workup. Dia ada 2 cara nak workup. Kita panggil workup. Okay. Ozonolysis of course still under nitrogen -78°C. Okay. These 2 workup dia akan it will give different product. It's either aldehyde ataupun carboxylic acid. Okay, let's say if you use zinc in H2O ataupun DMS, dia akan menghasilkan aldehyde here. If you use hydrogen peroxide H2O2 here, H2O2 dia akan menghasilkan carboxylic acid. So workup ni is important, this workup, because different workup it will give you different product. It's either aldehyde or carboxylic acid. But ketone tu sama je lah. Kalau that compound that potent to become ketone lah. Dia tak akan aldehyde atau ketone. Dia tak akan control lah. You boleh pakai mana-mana workup. You nak guna hydrogen peroxide boleh, nak guna DMS boleh. But if your compound tu ada possibility to form aldehyde or carboxylic acid, you have to use selective workup lah. It's either DMS or hydrogen peroxide. Okay, let's say here. Again, you break je kat tengah ni. Break je tengah ni. Like this. Tambah O, tambah O. Okay. Bila you tambah O kat sini, sepatutnya belah sini dia akan jadi like aldehyde lah kan? R tu dia R je. Yang belah sini akan jadi of course ketone lah. Yang R ni yang panjang ni ni CH3. Tapi you kena tengok you punya what type of workup. You pakai hydrogen peroxide H2O2. So bila pakai very strong acid here, you punya aldehyde ni akan jadi carboxylic acid. Okay, dia tak akan jadi aldehyde ke sini. Okay, it will become carboxylic acid. Yang ketone ni remain lah jadi ketone. Sama dia, tak berubah. Okay. Okay, let's say here. Again, you cut here autolysis. Potong tengah ni. Letak O like this. This one dia akan jadi aldehyde. Okay. Ni pun letak O dia jadi aldehyde. So because you using DMS, I call this DMS workup, dia akan jadi aldehyde lah, dia tak akan jadi carboxylic acid. Or another example here, you potong kat here. Yang belah sini akan jadi aldehyde sini. Yang belah sini akan jadi ketone. Ini soalan kalau you tak nak lukis spreadsheet pun tak apa, tak ada masalah. Kalau soalan dia keluar, you lukis je balik. Tak nak confuse kan. Allah. Okay. CH3. Okay, balik. So potong tengah sini betul tak? Tadi kan? Kita balik O. Like that. So this one aldehyde is this one. This one ketone is this one. Okay. So because you punya workup is zinc with water, dia jadi aldehyde je, remain as aldehyde, dia takkan jadi carboxylic acid. Okay. DMS and zinc with water, dia akan form aldehyde. Dia takkan no carboxylic acid. You want to form carboxylic acid, you must use hydrogen peroxide. Okay. Dia doktor tak jadi cyclodaya dia. Yes, betul, dia tak jadi cyclodaya. Dia dah potong ni, tap. Alkene tu dia dah break. Dia dah break menjadi two different carbonyl. Okay. Alright. This one. So again, double bond, you have zinc in H2O. Dia akan jadi aldehyde. Ataupun same this one. You have hydrogen peroxide, dia akan jadi carboxylic acid. And C-O, dia akan jadi like this. Okay. So different workup, again remember different workup menghasilkan different product. Ingat macam ni je, hydrogen peroxide ni very acid tau, very strong acid. Very strong acid. So very strong acid dia akan menghasilkan carboxylic acid. Macam tu je nak ingat analogi dia, senang je. Kita pakai very strong acid, hydrogen peroxide akan menghasilkan carboxylic acid. Acid. Ingat macam tu je. Kalau you pakai zinc in water, you akan menghasilkan aldehyde. Boleh belajar? So far so good. Nak bagi you all ingat lah ni workup ni. Kadang pelajar tak ingat. Tapi oxygen O3 memang adalah dia sama je. H2O2 is very strong acid, dia akan menghasilkan carboxylic acid. Okay. Kalau you pakai zinc in water, dia akan kalau dah sini carboxylic acid, sini jadi aldehyde lah kan. Okay. Boleh belajar setakat ni. This is very important. Boleh Okay. Sorry. Tadi kita dah belajar ozonolysis. Kita ada satu lagi kita panggil Cheminal dalam heat energy. Okay. Cheminal kalau kita alkene, Cheminal kita with supply energy, dia akan menghasilkan, again lah dia akan break kat sini. Dia akan menghasilkan CBO, ketone dan juga this is salt. Dia bukan aldehyde tapi dia salt. COO, O negatif. Ataupun ada kat sini Cheminal with some acid. Dia akan menghasilkan carboxyl dengan some carbon dioxide. Ya. Or Cheminal dengan some heat kat sini. Dia akan menghasilkan, ni dia break je lah sebenarnya. Dia potong tengah-tengah ni. COO, ni jadi carbon dioxide. Produce acid OSO4 and coal base CO4 break only the pi bond of the alkane. Ozone and acidic Cheminal break the pi bond and the sigma bond. Okay, ni different. This one tadi kita patah balik. Sekejap kita patah balik slide yang Cheminal tadi ada kan. This one. Kalau you pakai Cheminal dalam coal. Coal you react dengan dalam double bond alkene, dia akan menghasilkan diol. Dia tak break lagi dia tak perlu ada single bond kat sini. Dia akan form up to diol, ada single bond. Dia still sambung still a bond. But if you use Cheminal we supply energy here and some acidic H+, dia akan menghasilkan carbonyl. Dia akan break lah double bond ni, dia akan break. Dia akan terus form two different carbonyl group. Okay. Ada beza nampak perbezaan situ? Ada perbezaannya. Coal and acidic. Coal basic akan menghasilkan diol. Acidic Cheminal with supply energy akan menghasilkan two different carbonyl. Okay. This is summary of method how to oxidize. Is either you not oxidize. This one oxidize alkene. Alkene, this one in this summary. So you have double bond, you have this one, and then dia akan menghasilkan epoxide. And then you have double bond alkene with ozonolysis with zinc H2O. H2O tadi apa? Dia akan menghasilkan aldehyde. You have ozonolysis with hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is very strong acid, as I say. Very strong acid akan menghasilkan carboxylic acid. Acid. Okay. And then you have Cheminal with some acid, H+ is acid. Dia akan menghasilkan two different carbonyl group. But you have Cheminal in of course with some base dengan heating you heat akan menghasilkan two different carbonyl. But you have Cheminal in coal base. Ini strong, not strong, heat base. Maknanya dia panaskan. Dia nampak gambar ni maknanya dia supply energy. This one ada coal. This one hot base, dia akan menghasilkan two different carbonyl. But if you use Cheminal in coal base, dia akan menghasilkan diol. Diol. And then you will proceed coordinate reaction which is with HiO4. HiO4 ni akan break tengah-tengah ni, dia akan menghasilkan two different carbonyl. Okay. Sama juga dengan OSO4 kat sini. Okay, you need akan menghasilkan diol. And then you need HiO4 to form two different carbonyl. So this is summary of oxidize dalam alkene, in alkene. Boleh belajar pakai ni? Ada soalan tak? Okay, boleh ke? Ada soalan ke? Tidak. Nanti buat assignment antara Rabu ni rasa lepas sudah belajar hari ni boleh dah buat assignment tu. Sebab dah belajar oxidation dan reduction. Assignment yang I letak tu dia ada oxidation and reduction. Buat, mekanisme pun buat, banyak-banyak buat. I dah letak 4 different microreactor. Actually mekanisme sama je yang soalan tu. Dia punya konsep sama je, cuma starting material berbeza. Okay. Nanti Rabu ni hantar, nanti lepas kelas I akan, no. Khamis saya bagi sebab kadang student ni pukul 5, pukul 6, pukul 8 malam ada yang bawa hantar So I nak you all hantar dulu and then baru I akan share soalan. Saya mau tunjuk soalan apa tu? Boleh tanya Natasha? Okay, kita habiskan sikit lagi. Kita ada dalam 2-3 slide ni je. Kemudian kita boleh bincang sikit satu soalan yang you tanya ya Natasha? Betul ke ni? Nurul, Natasha, betul. Okay. Sikit je lagi ni. Okay, oxidative cleavage of alkyne. Tadi kita belajar alkene, this one alkyne. Okay, if you use chem number 4, with some base, alkyne dia akan menjadi carbonyl tapi dia still ada lagi satu bond dia tak akan break everything lah kesemuanya. But if you alkyne, you use ozolysis, yes, it will form 2 different carbonyl. Yeah. And then you have terminal alkyne, we get with ozolysis, of course, dia akan menghasilkan 2 different carbonyl. Okay, this one. This one macam dia pakai semula all the carbonyl group. You ada aldehyde ke semua. Okay, this one soalan macam ni keluar soalan bentuk macam ni. Okay, you have aldehyde here. Then kita bagi sodium borohydride. Tahulah tu, sodium borohydride, some acid here. Aldehyde dengan sodium borohydride is reducing agent. So aldehyde akan menghasilkan primary alcohol. And then from primary alcohol, kita boleh react dengan some acid. Hot acid akan menghasilkan alkene kat sini. Okay. And then this alkene boleh proceed menjadi secondary alcohol with some water and acid sulfuric. Dia akan menghasilkan secondary alcohol. And then secondary alcohol, kalau I bagi you chromite, dia akan menghasilkan ketone. Okay, another one. Let's say you have aldehyde, you treated dengan chromite akan menghasilkan of course lah carboxylic acid because chromite is very strong oxidizing agent. And then from carboxylic acid you treated dengan SOCl2 atau apa lagi satu reagent nak menghasilkan acid chloride student? Apa dia satu tu? SOCl2 dan juga
PCl5.
Yes, PCl5. Mana-mana boleh akan menghasilkan acid chloride kat sini. Okay. And then acid chloride kalau I bagi you alcohol, dia boleh menghasilkan ester. So acid chloride I bagi amine, dia boleh menghasilkan amide. Then pada amide, kalau kita bagi you lithium hydride akan reduce menghasilkan amine. Okay. Soalan macam ni pernah keluar di mana, let's say kita bagi you aldehyde, and then I terus draw carboxylic acid. So you kena bagi tahu lah apa reaksi sesuai kat sini. You dah nampak aldehyde, you dah nampak carboxylic acid. So of course lah chromite ataupun KMN4. You jangan letak PCC pula, tak boleh. Okay. So ada juga kita bagi soalan, kemudian kita bagi soalan. Kita bagi, okay, you all dah contoh dah bagi carboxylic acid ni, kita bagi SOCl2. Apa expected structure yang you can get. Okay. Soalan macam ni, selalunya kalau you salah atas, bawah semua habis assalamualaikum dia. Memang salah lah habis. So kena berhati-hati soalan-soalan macam ni. And then kalau kita, okay, kita sambung balik. Carboxylic acid, I bagi SOCl2, you tahulah this is formation of acid chloride. And then ada juga, daripada sini acid chloride you kena draw. And then kita bagi you structure kat sini, product, 2 different product. And then dia kata bagi reagen sesuai. You kena tengok lah. Daripada sini Cl ni tiba-tiba ada OCH3. You kena fikirlah reagen apa yang sesuai kat sini. Of course lah CHOH. You janganlah bantai CH3, CH2OH pula Kalau letak CH3, CH2OH dia akan jadi sini sebab tu jadi CH2, CH3. So soalan-soalan yang kalau macam satu material kepada produk ni you kena tengok produk dia tu apa yang dia hasilkan. You kena agak-agak lah reagen apa yang sesuai kat sini. And then amide, kita bagi amide, you kena agak-agak lah amide apa yang yang sesuai untuk memastikan amide ni. Okay. And then kita ada juga daripada amide ni kita terus draw amide. Kita kata inilah reaction apa yang sesuai. You jangan letak sodium borohydride pula. Sodium borohydride cannot reduce amide. It can only, amide ni hanya boleh di-reduce by lithium aluminium hydride. So you have to write down lithium aluminium hydride with some water. Okay. Ya, sama. Muhammad Asif. You boleh write down H2O, H plus ataupun H2O slash H plus. Sama je. Sebenarnya actually is sebenarnya benda tu nak maksudnya ada acid kat situ. Okay. Ada soalan lagi tak? Samalah yang ni. Sama je. Okay. They say here you have ketone here. Jadi kan ketone dengan hydroxy ni dia akan menghasilkan ester kan. Ester and then let's say tiba I bagi you 2 alkohol. You kena fikirlah reagen apa yang sesuai pada ester tiba menghasilkan 2 alkohol. Of course saya tengok ester ni dah kena reduce. And you kena ingat ester hanya boleh di-reduce by lithium aluminium hydride. Okay. And then ketone tiba I bagi you secondary alcohol. Of course sodium borohydride. Actually this one you boleh tulis either sodium borohydride ataupun lithium aluminium hydride. Lithium aluminium hydride also can reduce ketone menghasilkan secondary alcohol. Okay. Alright, setakat ni ada soalan? Untuk kuliah hari ni kita belajar dah apa ni reduction oxidation ni. Ada soalan tak? Kalau tak ada soalan tadi apa Natasha? Soalan apa nak tanya? Soalan nombor berapa? Soalan 1G. Kejap. Okay, now okay, you lukis dulu Fanny acetylate macam mana? Natasha cuba lukis dulu Fanny acetylate kat sini. Okay. Okay, you have Fanny acetylate here. And then 1G yang pH 3 1G CCH5 right dengan CH2. Okay, dia sebenarnya senang je. Instead of dia akan menghasilkan CH2, CH double bond CH2. Okay, pada sini okay, dia akan menghasilkan tulis R je lah yang ni selebihnya ini kan menghasilkan R CH2 CH. CH forward CH2. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Ni ada ajar dalam kuliah tak? Rasa macam ada. Saya tengah cari the lecture note. Ada ajar ke dalam kuliah? Student? Ada tak?
Ada doktor.
Tak ada ya? Kalau tak ada, tak apalah, abaikan je lah. Kalau tak ada, selalu dia tak akan keluar dalam exam. Kita akan keluar apa dalam kuliah je. Okay, abaikan je. Soalan 1G Tapi itulah jawapan dia tadi, dah bagi dah.